Welcome back to my WrestleMania review series. And I'm reviewing, of course, WrestleMania 3. This took place on March 29th, 1987. And this WrestleMania has been called the definitive WrestleMania. This WrestleMania has been called the WrestleMania that established WrestleMania into basically the Super Bowl of wrestling. And this WrestleMania is considered to be the launching point of WrestleMania. And I totally agree with that. This is a great show. This is an incredible show from top to bottom. And there are 12 matches on this card. That's a lot of matches. But to be honest, I did not think one single match on this whole card was boring or bad or anything. Like throughout this whole show, I wasn't like, oh my god, what am I watching? I was not like that, not once through this entire show. Even the matches that weren't really necessarily that good were at least entertaining or still had some decent wrestling in it. So yeah, let's get into the card. The first match was the Can-Am Connection versus Don Muraco and Cowboy Bob Orton. I thought this was a good match to start off the show. It only got about 7-6 minutes, but I thought for the time it lasted, it was good. The Can-Am Connection, they did good tag team wrestling. So did Orton and Muraco. I thought they did good tag team wrestling. And yeah, the Can-Am Connection, which were Tom Zink and Rick Martel, they got the win after one of them did a crossbody on Muraco and the other one tripped Muraco while laying on the floor, and they got the win. So yeah, good match to start the show. I gave it like 2 3/4 stars. Then we got Billy Jack Haynes versus Hercules. The story was they were both trying to do the full Nelson on each other. They had done that in previous months to each other. They've tried that. So yeah, I thought this match was okay. I thought it was fine. It didn't last too long, but yeah, I didn't think it needed to last that long. Both guys tried to apply the full Nelson to each other, and I thought the wrestling was decent. It ended on a double countout though, so I wasn't a big fan of that, but overall, I thought the match was fine. I thought it was completely okay. So yeah, and then afterwards, Hercules attacks Billy Jack Haynes with his chains about 3 times. He hits him in the head about 3 times with them, and Billy starts bleeding. Then we got a funny match: King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo, Lord Littlebrook versus Hillbilly Jim, Haiti Kid, and Little Beaver. This was not a good wrestling match, no, but this was a funny match. So I thought it was entertaining, and the midgets, they showed up to wrestle. They actually showed up to wrestle there, and yeah, and I was just laughing pretty much during this whole match. I thought it was funny. So yeah, I really don't have a problem here with this. But yeah, I'm giving the match a low rating, like about a star, but it's just, it was a funny match. And King Kong Bundy, he attacks like one of the midgets, I think it was Little Beaver, and his team gets disqualified. Then afterwards, all the midgets and Hillbilly Jim like gain up on King Kong Bundy. So yeah, Hillbilly Jim and his 2 midgets win. Harley Race versus Junkyard Dog in a loser must bow match. Whoever would win this match would be crowned king, and the loser would have to bow down to him. So yeah, this was a short match. There was really nothing to it. Like I said, like I said at the beginning of the show, I didn't think it was bad or anything. Because like I said, I don't think there was any match on this card that was like, what the hell? But yeah, it was all right. These guys can do better, but it was fine. The match ended kind of out of nowhere though. Like Harley Race just hit a belly to suplex, and that's it. You know, it's a move that we see all the time nowadays, but yeah. And then Junkyard Dog just did a little tiny bow to him. Then he attacked Harley Race with a steel chair, and he put on the crown and the cape and stuff. So yeah. The Fabulous Rougeaus versus the Dream Team, which is Greg Valentine and Brutus Beefcake, and of course the Fabulous Rougeaus, Jacques and Raymond, was the next match, and I thought this was a good tag team match. You know, back then the tag team division in the WWE was really good. It was they had a really solid tag division back then. So yeah, and this is pretty much one of the things they did best back then, one of them. And yeah, I thought this was a good match. It was short, but you know, a lot of matches on this card were short, but like I said, I didn't think any of them were bad or were just worthless or just didn't belong on the card. I thought every match had a purpose on this card. And like I said, I thought this one was okay. The Dream Team get the win when Dino Bravo, I believe, interferes, and Greg Valentine pins one of the Rougeaus, and they get the win that way. Then we got Roddy Piper versus Adrian Adonis in the hair versus hair match. And the story going into this match was this was Roddy Piper's last match in the WWF. Of course, that was not to be. As maybe almost about a year after this, he returned. So yeah, and I think this is a very underrated WrestleMania match. Like I pretty much hear everyone say it's good and stuff, but I think this match is actually kind of really good. You know, Adrian Adonis, I haven't seen that much from him, but to be honest, this is probably the best match I've ever seen him in so far. Like I said, I haven't seen that much from him. And Roddy Piper, this is not his best match, but this is a really good match from him, from both guys. It was a good brawl. It was basically a brawl, and I thought it was a good brawl. And yeah, and Adrian Adonis' finisher back then was a sleeper hold called the Goodnight Irene. And Roddy Piper, he finishes Adrian Adonis off with the Goodnight Irene, and he wins the match. And Brutus the Barber and Brutus Beefcake comes out there, and earlier in the match before, he got left by the Dream Team inside the ring because, you know, they cheated to win, and Brutus Beefcake didn't like that. So then he comes out here in this match and starts shaving Adrian Adonis' head. He shaves about half his head, and that's when he became known as Brutus the Barber Beefcake. So yeah, pretty good match, and yeah. Then we got the Hart Foundation and Danny Davis, referee turned referee, versus the British Bulldogs and Tito Santana. Out of all the tag team matches, I thought this one was easily the best. It was just good back and forth action, good wrestling. The British Bulldogs did some good power moves, and the Hart Foundation, good wrestling as well. Good job from Tito too. And it had a bit of a funny aspect to me, where Danny Davis, since he didn't want to get hurt, whenever he get tagged in, he just do like one kick, or he just do just like a kick, and then he tag himself out. I thought that was funny. So eventually, though, he can't make a tag, and he starts getting the holy hell beaten out of him by Davey Boy Smith, I believe. And the match breaks out in chaos. Everyone's fighting each other. Jimmy Hart gives Danny Davis his megaphone. Then Davis hits Davey Boy Smith with the megaphone, and he pins him. So the Hart Foundation and Davis get the win. And like I said, I thought it was a good tag team match, and I thought it was the best out of all the tag matches of the show. Then we got Butch Reed versus Koko B. Ware. Oh, by the way, I get that last match about 3 stars. And the hair versus hair match 3.5, 3 1/4. Then we got Butch Reed versus Koko B. Ware. This was 3 minutes. Nothing really here. I mean, it wasn't bad or anything. Just, to me, this was the least memorable match of the night. I'd give it 1 3/4 stars, only because it was so short. They didn't get to do much. So yeah. Yeah, Butch Reed gets the win. And Tito Santana comes out there and helps him off, fight off Butch Reed. And that's basically it. Then we got, match of the fucking night. Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat for the Intercontinental Championship. One of the greatest matches of all time. Hands down. This is the definition of what a great match should be. This was, to me, this was the first great match in WrestleMania history. This match had everything. It had great chain wrestling, good technical wrestling, fast-paced wrestling, great sequencing. It had a ref bump. It had everything. And the story going into this match was amazing. You had Macho Man Randy Savage trying to basically end the career of Ricky Steamboat by trying to crush his larynx. He even hit his larynx with a ring bell off the top rope, and he hit his throat off the off the barricade on the outside in the upcoming months to the show. And yeah, in the match itself, absolutely fantastic. This is one of not only the greatest matches of all time, but this is probably the greatest Intercontinental Championship match of all time. I have to say, when it comes to greatest IC title matches of all time, this ranks up there with, like, Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 10. But of course, I'll get to that match when I get to my WrestleMania 10 review. But yeah, this is an absolutely incredible, fantastic match. And yeah, Georgie Animal Steel and Ricky Steamboat's corner, who was a great friend to Ricky, and he's still obsessed with Miss Elizabeth, who was also in Savage's corner. This was just a fantastic match. Easily one of the best of all time. And this was easily match of the night, without a doubt. 5 stars. This is a 5-star match in my opinion. 5 stars. Amazing stuff. So yeah, after that 5-star classic, we got Jake Roberts versus the Honky Tonk Man, and Alice Cooper was in Roberts' corner. This was an okay match. It was just hard to follow up that amazing 5-star classic. But yeah, it was okay. They did alright wrestling. Honky Tonk Man gets the win by holding the rope illegally, and then afterwards, Roberts and Alice Cooper put Damien the Snake on Jimmy Hart, and he almost has a heart attack. Then we got the Iron Sheik versus the Killer Bees. It was alright. It was short, but yeah, it was alright. Nothing really that much here though. This was just a match in between the main event to get to the main event. The Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkoff win after Hacksaw Jim Duggan hits the Iron Sheik with his 2x4. So yeah. Then we got the main event. Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant for the WWF Championship. This is a legendary WrestleMania match. And by the way, Dave Meltzer gave this match -4 stars. -4 stars. Are you kidding me? That is absolutely ridiculous. Of course this wasn't going to be a great wrestling match. I mean, if you're expecting a great technical masterpiece from Andre the Giant Hulk Hogan, then what does the matter with you? This was about the story. You had Hulk Hogan, a great longtime friend of, Andre the Giant, a great longtime friend of Hulk Hogan, turning on him. And then it was like, and like Gorilla Monsoon said, it was the immovable force versus, the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. And this story was like out of a movie. It was like Andre the Giant, who had never lost a match in 15 years in professional wrestling, faced against Hulk Hogan, the guy who had been the champion for about 4 years straight. And I was seeing if Hulk Hogan could take down this unbeatable giant. And he did. Match quality was okay, I guess. But just for the story alone, I give this match probably about another star. So that goes to about 3.5 stars for this match. Yeah, it wasn't about match quality. It was about the story and about the historic feeling. So yeah, WrestleMania 3, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. Incredible show. Thank you guys for watching.